So, I regularly come for a walk in the woods here in Bergisch Gladbach, south of Bergisch Gladbach, and we've got quite a large selection of forest to go in. And right between my house and the forest, there is a cemetery, and the wild boar have been crossing over into the cemetery and foraging for food, which obviously means turning over a lot of soil and damaging some graves, which is causing a few problems, mainly because people leaving gates open and the catches on the gates and the springs not functioning properly. So yeah, anyway, so the last couple of years with COVID, I've been going for walks in the evenings, sometimes in the forest here. I've got thermal imaging cameras, and on one occasion I saw 10, possibly 10 wild boar in front of me, which was a bit of a surprise. I couldn't see them with my naked eye, but as soon as I put the camera up, they were there, literally 10 meters away, well camouflaged, actually pretty quiet at that point. I saw them again a few weeks later, running around, causing havoc in the woods, very loud, arguing, playing, snapping branches as they're charging through the woods. Yeah, so anyway, I want to get them on video. So the whole point of this is to basically make a start and show you what I've got so far. I've come across several deer, a pair of, I think they're fox, but they don't look the typical fox that you'd see in the UK. They've got shorter ears and a bit fluffier, but I think they're fox. Yeah, birds of prey, owls, different types of deer. Also a young male with 3 horns, I think it is. He looks quite, he's the biggest I've seen in here, and he looks quite interesting through the thermal imaging camera with his red horns. It's a little bit like a devil, but anyway, I will try and get the wild boar on camera, thermal imaging. I've also placed a trail cam in the woods. So if I found some trails where they hang around, so I've placed the camera there, so hopefully we'll get something. Yeah, let's see. Here's some of the damage caused by the wild boar. It's made a pretty big mess inside the cemetery. As you can see, they've also been causing havoc in the children's section, which is not nice. This was a couple of weeks ago, before they put extra security on the gates to stop the boars coming in. You can see a real mess. This is one of the gates that was always having issues. The spring-loaded system was broken, so the gate was continuously left open. As you can see here, it backs right onto the forest, which is where they came from. Okay, you can see here we've got gravestones. This is the cemetery, and the white and red indicates the heat from the candles or the little lamps people leave on the graves. Yeah, I was in the graveyard to basically see if I could find any pigs wandering around at night. No luck yet. Okay, so this is the trail cam in the forest. I left it there for a few weeks, and this was a trail often used by animals, and here I've caught a deer. I saw this a few times. You can see it's just wandering through the forest at this point, and very soon you will see it charging towards the camera. Wait for it. There. Basically it got spooked by something and decided to run back in the same direction it came from. This is a spotted woodpecker, fairly common here in Germany. And it likes this tree in particular because there's bark hanging off it, and there's insects. Okay, now this is just a deer at the side of the trail, and it was on the right hand side of the road trail, and on the left there was these two. So I was in a pretty isolated part of the forest, and I'm looking around here, and I see this, and my first impression is it's the boar. I saw it out the corner of my eye, so I quickly tried to get into a better position where I could hop on the bike and make an exit or get a good picture. But obviously it heard me. There's the bike. Yeah, that's the mountain bike. So I got close to that in case I needed to make an exit. But it turned out that whatever it was, it looked a bit like a fox, but I'm not sure. It's thermal imaging cameras don't give you the exact shape. They give you a rough idea. It has shorter ears and shorter legs than what I'm normally used to in the UK. So it doesn't look like a badger. It's closer to a fox than anything, so I'll leave it at that for now. Might be a different variety. It has the bushy tail like a fox, but its ears are too short. So I was watching this one for a few minutes, and I see these again later. A few weeks later I saw them again, and I've got the video. You'll see those shortly. You can see it's got a bushy tail. There's a bat, as you can see. And just, you see, I'm on the left hand side in the forest, and this thing looks like its mate that's on the opposite side of the track, and it's following its mate, I guess. So there it goes. So I've got a feeling that these two have a regular route around the forest. You can see that the trees are slightly warmer, that's why they're brighter. As the temperature drops, the trees hold their temperature, and underneath the tree, between the roots, you can see it's warmest. I guess sometimes there are insects, not insects, mice or rodents or whatever underground, but typically the trees are warmer than the surrounding air. And here, a good example of a stream. The water's warmer than the ground around it. You can see it running there. It's quite a nice image. Keep in mind this is just thermal imaging. So if everything was the same temperature, you wouldn't see a thing. So here I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at first, because quite often I've seen deer lying still on the ground, but as I moved position and changed colour, I could make out the long thin ears. So to me this looked like a rabbit. When I go to the white, and the next one I think it is, you can just make out the ears a bit clearer. There, you can just see them. So I think this is a rabbit or a hare. And then back to my favourite colour combination is the black and white with the red heat. And now here I was just focusing on the road that passes by just to get a good focus. So I was adjusting the focus to a distance that I need. Again, a deer. This was in the cemetery, hiding in a conifer. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's a pigeon or a bird of prey, or it doesn't look like an owl. The eyes are not big enough. Whatever it is, it looks like it's trying to sleep, so it's probably not an owl. Now that is an owl. Big eyes, good insulation. A lot of heat escaping from its eye sockets, and you can see it's looking to the left there. Here's another one. I'm just checking out the different colour combinations. And here is just an example of how the range you can get with these things. This is a plane at least 1 kilometre away, probably a couple of kilometres. And here we have a one-legged deer. Again, this is just for reference. This is the Pulsar camera, the one that's black and white and blue, like this one with the zoom window. This is the newer camera I have. The green one is the Pulsar. The only advantage to this one, see the little, it's either a mouse or a vole or something climbing up the grass, feeding. Again, here's the owl. Very clear. There's no denying what that is. Now this is the male I was talking about earlier. I think. I mean, it could be a different male, but actually I do think it's a different male. This one probably is younger than the one that you will see in a moment. You see, it looks like it only has 2 antlers. So I guess it's relatively young. Now this is the fox. I think it's a fox, but it's a little bit smaller than what I'm familiar with. There was 2 of them. This I assume is the male. He's going out first, and the female went back and hid behind a tree. I think she knew I was there. He didn't seem to notice or respond to me. I was very quiet. I assume he marked the tree there before he disappeared. Now this is the female, I think. she hung back. She was a little bit more cautious. Of course, I'm guessing. I don't know for sure, but as I sort of came round to the side, I had a better view. So as I get closer, I get past some of the trees and I get a look. There she goes. She sits up. And at first I thought, my God, she looks like a cat, a large cat. But when she walks off, it's obviously not there. You can see there it's the ears and the face, and the bushy tail. See the face there in the zoom window. And there she goes. There's a little toilet stop there. And you can see next to the tree where she'd been lying for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. The ground was still warm. And there she is, she's coming back further away from me. And you see there just above her, there we go, these two hot spots. I thought, are they more? And there she goes, she crosses the path, disappears into the forest. So they've gone in opposite directions here, which I thought was a bit odd. So maybe they're not a pair. Now I'd obviously disturbed a deer. Again, I'm assuming he's male because he's stamping his feet. I mean, it could be a female, I don't know. She could be a female. But she seems to be the leader of a group of 3 or 4. And banging the foot seems to be testing me, I guess, warning me off. Banging her feet. There, you see, thumping the ground. You can just about hear it from where I am. It's not loud, but loud enough. And I'm hiding behind a tree here and trying to stay still, but she can smell me. She's obviously heard me. And then she runs and checks, and I'm not in pursuit, so she or he tries again and checks to see if I'm there or moved. Just working me out there, just trying to decide what to do. Not comfortable, obviously, and then decides to do a runner. And I guess might be he, barking at the same time, and the other 2 or 3, they stand up while he's barking, and they also run off together. Now this is on the Pulsar camera, thermal imaging, and he has slightly different horns, so he's definitely not the same one as we saw earlier. You say horns, antlers, sorry. But when you look at it, it looks like the devil when you zoom in on his face. Okay, so I was on my way back and I saw 2 dudes hiding in a hut. I say hiding, they were just having a cigarette, a drink, Friday evening. And this guy here has just thrown his cigarette. So, not ideal, but there you go. Okay, 2 ducks, well insulated. The only heat you can see is coming from the head. One has the head tucked into the feathers, and the other one is keeping a watch. These boulders here, they absorb the heat, that's why they were bright. And then I didn't realise there was a deer behind me as well. So this guy is behind me. And there's two of them. Now further up the path, about 200 metres, different pair. There's a male and a female here, and you can see this male. And he looks very impressive through the thermal imaging camera. Look at him there. When it stands still. There we go. Nice. But obviously I spooked them and they moved off. I tried to ignore them. So that's it. So yeah, I will continue searching for the wild boar. They're definitely out there. I see evidence of them all the time. As soon as I have any new interesting video, photos or whatever, I'll post them. But I expect once I've found them, I'll probably stop doing this. It's just, yeah, I just want to get them on video and document them. When I actually saw them the first time, the first 2 times, I didn't have the capability of recording. But I do now, so hopefully I'll get a video soon and share it with you guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.